And we start this very day by making it abundantly clear that the greatest enemy of a black man is the way that we reason. If not that the way we reason is very, very abhorrent, there is no need or reason why we should be suffering and complaining every blessed day without the courage to do something about it.
I want every one of you to remember these three words. Nigerians, we are no more. Southeasterners and Southerners, we cannot become. And Biafrans, we must be.
Nigeria is the terrorist, not we, not Biafrans. So Finland, you need to get that clear first. You need to know who is committing the act of terrorism. As of today, the Nigerian state, headed by Tinubu and Christopher Musa, continues to unleash act of terrorism against innocent Biafrans. They killed.
The program you're about to watch is coming from the United States of Biafra Media, the ITPS. I want you to pay attention to every information that you're going to hear in this video. It is very educating and it will inform you of the situation in the Zoological Republic of Nigeria and what is going on in the United States of Biafra. Pay attention from the beginning to the end. Every information in this platform is very important. We are here to promote the United States of Biafra under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, and on the supreme command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today under the leadership of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Oreboweze. Pay attention from the beginning to the end, and you'll be glad you did. Let's watch and hear what the media is presenting.
From the CDS, from headquarters, defense headquarters, also over the statement made by the Chief of Armed Staff, the General himself, General Christopher Musa, when Nigerians were faulting or blaming him for the statements, which, according to defense headquarters, were not really made by him, talking about who should we blame for the happenings, especially the killings, the carnage that's happened in Benue State. Here, some persons were saying that that General Christopher Musa blamed the people of Benue State for the carnage that happened in their community that caused the loss of 200 lives. But from what we're getting today, we learned that the media should be blamed for such, saying that they pushed whatever narrative they have for the people to believe, not what the general said regarding the killings that happened in Benue State. Barrister, what do you have to say about this particular story?
Yeah, Fina, it's unfortunate that up till now we are still trading blames for a matter other countries that are serious have resolved. The idea that the Benue people provided shelter, provided food and women for the terrorists is, in fact, is the height of insult. This particular army chief is looking for somebody to blame for his incompetence because he has forgotten that Tinubu sent him there to go and take care of things. And under his watch, this massacre happened. Instead of him to take the blame or even resign, he has started blaming Benue people that they did this. So if actually women were provided for them, how did they not leave the women to go and fight? They should be enjoying themselves now with the women.
Well, Barrister, from what Brigadier General Tukur Gusau said today, say that, highlighting the complexity of the conflict, especially what transpired in Benue, it should be what Nigerians should be looking at and not trying to, put out of proportion the words of the CDS himself. Now, Barrister, how then do you expect, because we've learned also that no credible information was given or intel was given to the security men that we have on ground in Benue State as regards where these people are coming from and where they are going to. Even it got to a point where some persons will say that the people that gave them the information misled them. They took them to a different location, whereas the attackers got into Yelawata through a different route entirely. Now, isn't this more like a way or the people aiding the happenings in the state? Remember also that the authority also pointed out to the fact that some politicians some political elements in the state are fueling this whole insecurity in that state for their own personal gains.
I completely disagree that the Benue people misled them. They took them to a different direction. What kind of talk is that? What type of discussion is that? So this is the first time those people have struck Benue. All this while that they are hitting Benue, what did the military do? They are just looking for excuses here and there, and that's what I do not understand. So they want to blame Benue people for their incompetence.
But you know, Barrister Darlington, we need local intelligence for us to navigate all this. The people who are, okay, the military men that are being sent to, you know, this particular locality in Benue State, they don't even know the terrain. They don't even understand the terrain. So don't you think that maybe the tip-off from, you know, the locals could have actually helped them to prevent that carnage?
95% of the time, the police and the military were informed they will not do anything until these people have carried out their mayhem and left. Benue people have come to talk about it in our platform here. How they call the military, who are not far away from where these things are happening, and they will turn deaf ear, saying that they have not gotten order from above. I mean, you are there to make sure that there is security of the people and their property. And under your watch, these people have hit Benue severally, and you are telling me you don't have intel on them. Did they fly through the air? Did they pass through the road? And you have a checkpoint along this road. So what happened? It should not even make that kind of noise, because I see it as noise.
Now, Barrister, what do you have to say about the fact that we still have the presence of, you know, the military in Benue? Remember that we have from our COA saying, I'm moving down, I'm relocating to Benue State to make sure I put an end to all these killings happening in the state. And then IGP Ebitokun also made Nigerians understand that special task force team has also been sent to that state. We learned that Hyacinth Alia, the governor of the state, according to what we were told, made provision for logistics and every other thing for the, you know, the sleek or the easy or seamless movement of security personnel in the state for them to be able to navigate all that they need to do. But we learned yesterday, on Sunday, that a full bus was attacked, and all the passengers in that particular bus were being moved, kidnapped by terrorists, armed terrorist group.
So this one you said now, was it the fault of Benue people?
Is it that the military personnel are we seeing an overwhelmed, overstretched military in Nigeria? What is really happening?
None of those. The thing is that they don't want this thing to end, so that the money they are getting from this insecurity will not stop.
Isn't this an indictment on its own that we have the Chief of Army Staff moving over to, you know, to Benue State, and under his nose, under his watch, with the sophisticated weapons that I believe the military personnel are carrying or bearing at this point in time, you know, some non-state actors can act without any of them being arrested?
Yes. That will tell you that these people, they don't want this thing to end. Because if the thing now ends, where would they be getting this money they are getting now? We are not fighting insecurity here. We are fighting corruption. It's as simple as that. The government is not willing to end this because we have given so many intel. Okay, if you say that the Benue people did not give you intelligence report, please, the 400 names they gave you people since how many years ago, that are sponsoring this terrorism, what have you done with it? Have any army chief asked for that list? No. Please, they should stop blaming Benue people.
There was this line of thought, you know, where some Nigerians of the opinion that the issue of insecurity is no longer a national something, that is now an international thing, whereby powers that be, you know, kind of feel on this whole insecurity because of their benefits. And do you think that Nigerian government at this point in time are a bit, maybe will I say, overwhelmed, or are we seeing a government that hands are tied over fighting back, especially the international bodies that are supporting or fueling insecurity in Nigeria?
If we are serious, nobody can threaten Nigeria. either within or outside.
Why do you say so?
Because as a government, you have the capacity. It is after God, you now have government. It is only government that have the coercive capacity to rein in anybody or any group.
Do you think that Africa as a continent has what it takes? I'm talking about the military might, the armament, and every other thing for them to withstand, other foreign entities if they're trying to invade their territory at this point in time. Because if you check out, you find out that more like all African countries where we have rich mineral resources are having one issue of insurgents or terrorist attack or another up until today, Barrister.
The smaller countries in Africa can take care of things, not to talk of a big nation like Nigeria. So if they are being overwhelmed, they want to be overwhelmed. Not that these rascals are too big or too many for the Nigerian military. They just don't want to do the needful. It's as simple as that. Nobody can threaten a government and the government just keep quiet, except that government doesn't want to do anything.
All right, Barrister, people are preferring solution to end of insecurity in Nigeria, end of conflict, especially between farmer and herders. And then, some states, in Katsina State, there was a peace accord that was signed. A notorious terrorist made Nigerians understand that you don't call us terrorists. If you keep on calling us terrorists, we keep on terrorizing you and all that. Even to the point that the government also have decided to choose a non-kinetic way too, also to help make sure that, the issue of insecurity is a thing of the past in Nigeria. But today, we learned that the Tiv and Fulani communities in Taraba State will be made to sign a peace pact, whereby both people will be able to live in peace without anybody attacking anybody, without maybe Fulanis attacking the farmers or farmers, without anyone having a clash. Now, do you think that this is more like a good approach to us ending this issue of insecurity at all?
Look, they are scratching this matter on the surface. They are just, you and I know very well that these people will not be appeased until they get what they are looking for.
Why do you say so? What are they looking for, Barrister?
Because everything has been done to placate them, yet they refuse to listen. Is it not to graze their cattle? Is that not the issue here? Have they ever been offered land all over the northern region? They refuse to accept it. Rather, they want to take other people's land, rename it and claim it. And that's what they want. So every other thing you are talking or saying or doing, I don't think it will sync with them. Okay. Because they have a purpose. They want to take the land. They want to take the land, not minding that people are living there.
So you think the whole quest is about land grabbing at this point?
Of course. Not even one land, the whole of Nigeria.
But how possible do you think that will ever be?
Isn't
that more like chasing a white goose? Because I don't think it's going to be possible.
Well, Fina, they have done it somewhere and succeeded though.
Where in particular?
Some African states today were originally Christian community. They were originally Christian states until they came and forced them to accept it.
But looking at the peculiarity of Nigeria as a nation, even the British, when they come into the nation to colonize, they couldn't even impose a particular system of government because of the diversified nature of the people inhabiting here, because of the dynamic nature of Nigerians. Now, if we're to say that they've done it before, we know that Islam comes from the East. So why is it that, it's encroachment in Nigeria that Easterners are not really practicing that religion, but rather they are just living their life?
Because we resisted them.
And you think such attempt or such resistance will not come again at this point?
It's already ongoing.
The resistance to come again?
It's already ongoing. It's left for the people of Nigeria to agree or refuse. All these things that are going, is it not resistance? All these things that people are pushing back and all that is resistance. And they too, because they are being backed by some powers that be, they have continued with their onslaught. If it is on one-on-one basis, maybe the other parties have their own gun. My dear, they will not try it.
All right,
yeah, they will not. They would have settled for what they were offered. They were offered the land to go and do their business. They refused. So, what do you think is going on then? You are looking for something. Say you want to pray to do your business. Somebody says, oh yeah, come. Come and take this land and do whatever. You say no. You say no, except to go to other people's land and kill them and take over their land by force.
Away from that particular story about insecurity and all that, let's look at election malpractice. Barrister, here we have a new development where the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Boitoko, come up to deny in strong terms allegations that the police are encouraging election malpractice in Nigeria. Barrister, you're a Nigerian. What do you have to say about this?
Of course, as usual, he is lying. This IDP is lying and he knows it. At least we witnessed what happened here during the last election. Enso Oluomo, while he was destroying ballot boxes at Oshodi, 2 policemen were behind him as his orderly. As his orderly. And when we asked them why, he said that Enso Oluomo is joking. Is that not what they told us? Meanwhile, you saw what he was doing, you saw it as a police officer. And several other places. As long as they are working for APC, the police will look the other side and pretend as if they didn't see what happened.
But Barrister, from what IGP said, police are not the ones in charge of INEC as our electoral empire, as the case may be. They are not the one in charge of INEC. They don't even do election. They don't count votes. Neither do they officiate the happenings in INEC. So how then are we going to blame them for electoral malpractices in Nigeria?
I will blame them. They were taken there to bring peace. But under their watch, some political talks belonging to APC were doing whatever they like. Because they are for the ruling party and therefore they can do whatever they like. These IGPs should stop lying.
Some persons have argued, Barrister, that we don't even need the presence of the police or military during our election.
Let us assume.
So,
yes.
Do you also align with that line of thought that we don't need them? We don't need the
under APC, if you say that we know, it will be worse. Imagine with police and army, things are like this. Imagine with police and army, things are like this. Not to talk of when there is none at all. What do you think will happen? They will take over the job of INEC officials. In fact, Enso Oluomo will mobilize his own boy. They will take care of Oshodi.
Barrister, take it back to River State when the suspended governor of that state conducted a local government election. Barrister, the police or the security personnel were not present.
Good, because
but funny enough, the people came out, they were able to cast their vote, and also even though a court nullified that election at this point in time. But do you still think, with the example I just said now, that we still need the presence of the police or the security personnel, during our elections?
In a normal climate, we don't need them. But Nigeria is not a normal climate. That's why everything about us is violence, force, brigandage. That's why most times we bring in security agencies to take care of these bad boys. But unfortunately, under their watch, the bad boys become bolder. They have been threatening police and, snubbing them, and nobody will arrest anybody.
How possible would that be? Because according to what the IGP said that police can never deviate from their primary roles of maintaining law and order during election and other, processes. So when you say they are threatening the police, how will it be? Because they are there to maintain law and order. So how can someone who has been, saddled with the responsibility of law and order maintenance now be a victim of threats?
During the election, the police will work with the ruling party. That is as simple as that. During election, the Nigerian police and Nigerian military, they work with the ruling government, the ruling party. They work with them. We have seen it clearly. Nobody can deny this. We saw what they did in Rivers State in 2019 when Amechi mobilized the military. When they were not even supposed to contest election there. All the mayhem they committed with Amechi, who sent them message? We have seen police guiding talks while they are destroying ballot boxes and all that, because they are not winning in that particular polling unit. So please, the IGP should spare us all these summons. We are not interested.
Barrister, let's look at bilateral relationships where we have the diplomatic engagement between the Brazilian vice president and our own country, Nigeria. And this particular relationship, according to what we were told, or the information being made available, shows that we have over 30 memoranda to be signed, between Nigeria and the Brazilian government. And, you know, looking at the whole thing, the whole scenario, it boils down to, you know, what Nigerians actually needed, especially in the sectors that is a bit vital for us: the defense, cooperation, the agricultural technology sector, and even energy collaboration, including cultural exchange programs. Now, what do you have to say about this particular, you know, information, this engagement that we're having? It's going to be a 3-day summit, you know.
It's a waste of time. Because even if the Brazilian government decide to keep their own part of the bargain, Nigeria will not keep their own. Because politics and tribalism will not allow them to keep to their own. So why do you wait? Is this the first time they are signing MOU and all that? What came out of it? Nothing will come out of it. They just want to show that they are doing something. Meanwhile, they are not. It's a waste of time and resources.
So you're saying that the fact that the Vice President of Brazil, Geraldo Alckmin, and his wife, Maria Alckmin, are in Nigeria today for a 3-day summit is not going to yield any good fruit or it's not going to be fruitful to Nigeria?
It will not, because we have seen it in the past now.
Why do you say so, Barrister Darling? Because look at the people that were sent to, even, you know, persons, the delegates that were sent to welcome them. We have the Deputy Chief of Chief of Staff to the President. We also have the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. Among them also is our own Professor Tahiru Jega, Abubakar Kyari also. Abubakar Kyari was there also, I beg your pardon, not Jega, I want to say. And we have Idi Meina. And these are men that are manning, you know, the sectors that we really need this collaboration or this relationship with the Brazilian world with. So you're saying that your presence there and every other thing that you're going to deliberate on for 3 days is more like a waste of time.
It is, because there is insecurity in Nigeria. Fina, it is a waste of time because there is insecurity in Nigeria. How will you implement it?
So you don't think with their defense cooperation that they're bringing to the table that will be able to push back these terrorists or insurgent groups that have been killing Nigerians thus far?
I said it's on paper. In reality, nothing will happen. Forget it.
So Nigerians have been clamoring and calling for, you know, maybe international collaboration for us to be able to end the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, and also for us to